Jai Hind friends, I'm Major Gaurav and you're watching the Chanakya English. And they said, no, how can you do this to a mosque? And the Chinese tried to explain that for us it doesn't matter whether it's a mosque or XYZ. If it's wrong, it's wrong. If it's right, it's right. And this is wrong. It needs to be demolished. And they said, absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, I would just tell Pakistanis, be clear. Do you want the money or you don't want the money? If you don't want the money, tell them to get out. If you want the money, be nice. Because you're begging. Jai Hind friends, I'm Major Gaurav and you're watching the Chanakya Dialogues English. Like this video, subscribe to our channel and don't forget to press the bell icon. Now recently in Sydney, Australia, the Khalistanis, up to their usual tricks, tried to have this sham of a referendum. And I don't even know why they have this referendum everywhere, because they want to create Khalistan inside India, but they're having referendums all over the world. Anyway, so they decided to have this referendum and they booked this place. At the last moment, the organizers said that this is not for a comedy show or words to that effect. I don't know what they said. Hold on. So the Sydney Masonic Centre has called off a Khalistan referendum event planned by a separatist group, Seeks for Justice. This group is fraud, Seeks for Justice. All right? Okay. That was scheduled to take place on Sunday in Australia. The Australian government has cited security risks to the community. Of course, Khalistanis are security risks. To every country, they are security risks to themselves also. Masonic Centre has this morning cancelled this booking as it is in conflict with adopted Masonic policy and due to risks to Masonic staff, assets and members of the public which cannot be practically mitigated. We did not understand the nature of this Khalistan event at the time of booking. However, after lots of deliberation, decision was taken that the Sydney Masonic Centre does not want to be part of an event which can potentially bring harm to the community. So, essentially what they're saying is this, that, the Masonic Centre in Sydney says that this event could harm Australian citizens, the staff of the Masonic Centre, and posed due risks to assets and members of the public. What the Australians are saying is that the Khalistanis are a public risk. They're a risk to the citizens of Australia. They're a risk to the public at large. And yeah, essentially Khalistanis are stupid. So they will do stuff that is stupid. Right? Like, for example, as I told you, they want to create Khalistan in Indian Punjab, but want to do the referendum in Australia because they are too scared to come to Indian Punjab and do the referendum. So I would like to ask all the Khalistanis, when are you coming to the Indian Punjab? Come to Indian Punjab. I'll be there to welcome you. Come to Indian Punjab and hold your referendum there. Who has stopped you? Who has stopped you from holding the referendum? Hold it by all means. Hold the referendum there. Let's see what you're made of. Sing all these songs and say that, no, we'll get Khalistan and we'll do this and we'll do that. You are nothing but Pakistanis' lapdogs. That's all. Pakistanis throw some breadcrumbs at you, you wag your tail, and then you go barking. That is your auqat. Okay, auqat is a Hindi word, and I hope you understand. That is your auqat. You mean nothing. You're a disgrace, not just to the Sikh faith, of which you're not a part, by the way. You're a disgrace to humanity. Had I been, a person of some authority in Australia, I would have put you guys in jail. The cancelling of the event is one thing. You should be in jail, all of you. All you Khalistanis. And you will be. Don't worry, we're getting there. We'll put all of you in jail for a very long time. Alright, and in China, and this is for Pakistanis, by the way, clashes have erupted between protesters and police in southwest China over plans to raise parts of a mosque. The authorities are now asking the demonstrators to turn themselves in. China deployed hundreds of police and made arrests in the mostly Muslim southwestern town of Nagu in Yunnan province after clashes erupted last week over the planned partial demolition of a Najiang mosque. Now the Chinese say that, the area is home to a sizable enclave of Hui, a predominantly Muslim ethnic group, who have come under pressure in the face of broad crackdown. On Saturday, dozens of officers wielding truncheons and riot shields repelled a crowd outside the mosque that was hurling objects at them. So apparently this crowd of Chinese Muslims were throwing stones, they were stone pelting against the Chinese police, and the Chinese authorities said that you have constructed a mosque that is illegal. So apparently a team went and showed them the maps that according to the map, what you have done is wrong. This is not sanctioned. So in China, they're very strict. So they said that, this is what you're permitted to build and this is what you have actually built. So the part that you've illegally built has to be broken. So people got upset and they came out in large numbers and they said, no, how can you do this to a mosque? And the Chinese tried to explain that for us, it doesn't matter whether it's a mosque or XYZ. If it's wrong, it's wrong. If it's right, it's right. And this is wrong. It needs to be demolished. And they said absolutely nothing doing. And they started pelting stones, massive stone pelting. Chinese police, riot police there with riot gear and shields and batons and truncheons and trying to get a control of the crowd. Now, what the Chinese will do, I'll tell you. This is what the Chinese have done to the Uyghurs also in Xinjiang. The Chinese modus operandi is highly sophisticated in this regard. They will catch hold of the leaders of this protest because every protest has leaders, right? And this is what the Chinese have done in the past. It's very brutal, and I don't like this one bit. They should have talked to these guys, the Muslims who were protesting. They should have sat them down and talked to them and said that, yeah, you can't do this. It might have taken a while. But every time somebody objects to you does not mean that he's against the state or he's against the country. It doesn't mean that those Muslims are not loyal Chinese. If they have a problem, China must listen to them. But the problem is in China, there is no listening, There is absolutely no, it's one-way traffic. The state tells you what to do and you do it. In this case, what they're going to do is massive crackdown, arrest everybody, send hundreds and thousands of them to re-education camps, right? Where they'll be told that there is only one God and his name is Mao. Yeah, they do that. In fact, these Communist Party of China, these clowns, they rewrote the 10 Commandments. And I'm not joking. These guys have rewritten the 10 Commandments. And they said that there is no mention of Mao or Xi Jinping or China in this. And how can you have 10 Commandments? 10 Commandments from the Old Testament, right? And they've rewritten the Quran because they said that the Quran is largely based out of Arabia, Hijaz at that time, Saudi Arabia currently. And there is no Chinese character in this. How is that possible? Now, the Chinese Communist Party has a mental illness. I'll tell you what. Whatever the Muslims believe, they believe in the Quran, they believe in Prophet Muhammad, that is their personal belief, right? That is their personal belief, and nobody has the right to tell them that your belief is wrong or right. Nobody can tell them that in the Quran, why don't you have Chinese characters? This is stupid. The Quran was revealed 1500 years back. How? And the idea of the Chinese party, the Chinese Communist Party, is that, they actually, and I'll try and put up these links so you can actually correlate them to actual media reports that have come out. That these guys were actually saying, the Chinese Communist Party said, or the spokesperson or somebody, and he said that, in the Quran, there is no Chinese character. They want Arab characters or Arab people, individuals who are in the Quran to be praising Mao Zedong. How is it possible? Yeah, Mao Zedong was in the last century. The Quran was revealed 1500 years back. How would someone know that, you have to praise China and you have to praise Mao Zedong or Xi Jinping or whatever, XYZ. Yeah. They talk nonsense absolutely. So what you do is, you get the crowd, the Muslims who are protesting, you ask them to sit down, you negotiate with them, and you say that, okay, this is wrong. What we'll do is, we'll give you land here, we'll give you the money to build a mosque, you build another mosque here, you build it according to these dimensions, a person will come and check, there should be no illegal construction, right? And then, after giving them a solution, then you say that, okay, this is the part that we want to dismantle, etc. The Chinese first send the riot police. Now, what they're going to do, they will have photographs. The Chinese are masters at this, They are masters at this. What they'll do, they'll have drones photographing everybody, taking elaborate videos. They have these CCTV cameras, hidden spy cameras, taking elaborate videos. The entire thing is to collect evidence against everybody who has protested. And once these people have protested, all these people are going away for a very long time, including kids who are not even there at the scene of the crime. Small kids, 3 years, 4 years old, because when their parents are sent to jail, and let's say the husband is pelting stones, and the wife is not guilty, the wife is probably in her office somewhere, or she's at home, or she's in the park, or she's in the market, or she's shopping, or she's hanging around with her friends, or whatever she's doing, right? Even she will go to jail because of her husband. Because the Chinese feel that you have polluted the minds of the people around you. Their neighbors will be put in jail. Neighbors who knew nothing about this guy, whoever it was who was pelting stones. The neighbors know nothing about this guy. They will go to jail. 3 apartments to the left and 3 apartments to the right will go to jail. This is what is happening in China. This is why they've put 1.5 million Uyghurs in prison, and they're doing that again because of a mosque. Yes, the mosque was illegally built. I'm assuming it was illegally built. But there is a way around this. You have a conversation. You don't just say, okay, do this, do that, blow this up. I don't understand how the Chinese run their country. Anyway, a UN report said that in case of food insecurity, Pakistan is a very high concern area. And acute food insecurity in Pakistan is likely to rise in the next month if the country's economic and political turmoil intensifies, aggravating the consequences of the 2022 floods, according to a new United Nations report. So, basically, the report is titled Hunger Hotspots. Early warnings of severe food insecurity and jointly produced by the Food and Agricultural Organization FAO and the World Food Programme WFP covers a period from June to November 2023. And this I'm reading from the report. That in the midst of the present global economic slump, rising state debt has aggravated Pakistan's protracted financial crisis. It stated that the government must repay USD 77.5 billion in external debt between April 23 and June 2026, a sizable sum given the country's GDP of USD $350 billion in 2021. I don't even know what this means. I mean, how can Pakistan repay 1/4 of its GDP? Yeah? And the GDP is not something that is available with them in terms of cash. It's not like a cash deposit. So this report of the United Nations says that Pakistan has to repay $77.5 billion in the next 3 years. And Pakistan has no means of paying this money, and this could lead to massive food insecurity in Pakistan anyway. I mean, the Pakistani leaders are to blame, okay? I remember, and I'll repeat this time and again just to drive home the point, that, last year, there was a meeting at the United Nations, and they had called people regarding food security. Bilawal Bhutto represented Pakistan. And you know what this fool of a foreign minister of Pakistan, Bilawal Zardari Bhutto, or Bhutto Zardari, whatever his name is, this clown actually spoke about Kashmir in the food security meeting. Had he spoken about Pakistan's concerns, somebody would have tried and helped Pakistan. Because, see, Bilawal Bhutto is already 100 kgs overweight. He belongs to a rich family. He does not lack for food. Bilawal Bhutto is well fed. Bilawal Bhutto is overfed. He doesn't care about Pakistanis not getting to eat once a day. He doesn't care about them. No, it does not matter to India, Bilawal, if you go and raise the Kashmir issue. It does not matter to us. It doesn't matter to us. Because you're not getting Kashmir, not in your lifetime, and if you have kids tomorrow, not in their lifetime, and never ever in the next 1,000 years. But you're just wasting everybody's time. In a food security conference, Bilawal, you should have spoken about food security. Please understand, you were sent there to do a job, not earn brownie points with your half-illiterate population making statements on Kashmir. This is what Kashmir has done to you. Kashmir, this mad dream of Kashmir, has destroyed your country, its economy, its diplomacy, its social fabric. It has made jihadis out of almost everybody in Kashmir. That is what has happened. And you want Kashmir, and today the United Nations report is saying that Pakistan is down in the dumps, massive food insecurity, all because Pakistan's rulers progressively over a period of time have refused to address these very basic issues. Kashmir, Palestine, IMF, World Bank, dollars, that's all they speak about. Islamophobia, that's it. They don't speak about real issues. They have lost the capability of bringing out real issues that the Pakistani people face. Water insecurity, food insecurity, energy insecurity. They don't talk about this stuff, the relevant stuff. They talk about nonsense like, we will take Kashmir and then we will help the Palestinians. Please help yourselves first. Forget about Kashmiris and Palestinians. Can you please help yourself first? It's like in the aircraft, no? The air hostess will always tell you that in case there is an oxygen shortage, the masks will drop out. But before you put them on a passenger close to you, put it on yourself first. This is what the air hostess tells you every time. You know, that briefing that every time you have before the takeoff happens, they say that first put the mask on yourself, breathe, and then help people. So if you think that the other people need oxygen, I'm talking about Kashmir and Palestine here, they don't, but if you think they do, please put the oxygen mask on yourself first. First of all, you don't have oxygen, and then you're debating, you know, whether I should put the mask on Kashmir or Palestine. No, sweetheart, you put it on yourself first. You put it on Pakistan first. If Pakistan is dead, then you can't raise the Kashmir issue and the Palestine issue, right? You've got to be alive and kicking. So save yourselves first. Okay, and Pakistan's State Minister for Finance and Revenue, Aisha Ghaus Pasha, has slammed the International Monetary Fund for intervening in Pakistan's internal affairs. Now, what did the IMF chief, his name is Nathan Porter. Nathan Porter just said, you know, looking at the political instability and the economic flashpoints of Pakistan, Nathan Porter, the IMF's mission chief in Pakistan, or for Pakistan, said that we hope, that the IMF hopes a peaceful way forward is found in line with the constitution and the rule of law. That's all he said. Because, see, the Pakistanis are asking the IMF for money. All right? Understand this concept. The Pakistanis are asking the IMF for money. And all the IMF is saying is, please get your house in order because we have to give you money. But as soon as they say, get your house in order, and how? They're not saying listen to the IMF or listen to America. They're saying listen to your own constitution. They're saying follow your constitution, follow the rule of law, which is enshrined in your constitution. For heaven's sake, take a look at your constitution and do that. That's it. They're asking you to follow your own constitution. But that is taken as interference. And this is the schizophrenia that Pakistan is afflicted with. In the morning, people like this lady, what's her name? Aisha Ghaus Pasha. So Aisha Ghaus Pasha, in the morning, will abuse IMF, and in the evening, her boss, Ishaq Dar, will lie down at the feet of the Americans, the American ambassador and everybody, and say, please give me money, please give me money. The Prime Minister will go and beg the IMF. He'll tell the Americans, can you please intervene on our behalf and tell the IMF to give us money? And this has been happening for a long time. And it's not just two people speaking different languages. It is the same guy speaking a different language. In the morning, Ishaq Dar says, we don't need the IMF. Who the hell do they think they are? Pakistan is a very rich country. We don't need the IMF. Get out. And in the evening after 4 o'clock, this same guy will go and meet the American ambassador. I think his name is David Blome or something like that. I could be wrong, but Daniel Blome or David Blome, one of this. He's a Blome. So he goes to this Blome character inside the American embassy and says, he holds his feet and he says, please give me money. I mean, it's not just Imran Khan taking U-turns. This entire country is taking U-turns every 24 hours or every 12 hours. Shameful. You know, ladies and gentlemen, I would just tell Pakistanis, be clear. Do you want the money or you don't want the money? If you don't want the money, tell them to get out. If you want the money, be nice because you're begging. You can't threaten and beg at the same time. Though Pakistanis have this down to a fine art. That's all I have for you today, ladies and gentlemen. If you like this video, please press like, subscribe to our channel and don't forget to press the bell icon. Jai Hind, Vande Mataram, Bharat Mata Ki Jai.